Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, we'll be doing the second lesson, that is the twins, the poem from your book, and we'll be doing the paraphrasing of the poem. The poem is written by Henry Sambrook Lee, and this is a very interesting poem, humorous or nonsense poem, it could be also called. Objectives for this lesson are: identify the main idea and theme of the poem, then identify rhyming words, identify writer's purpose and no tone, understand and discuss a poet's choice of words and phrases, express personal views about a poem through discussion and dialogue, understand the meaning of new vocabulary, and paraphrase the stanzas accurately, give answers of the exercise questions. So this is basically will be your written task, that after having the paraphrasing of all the poem, at least you would be able to give answers of the questions at the end. Okay, resources are online video, textbook page 32 and 33, and a glossary. Okay. First of all, about the poet, Henry Sambrook Lee. You can see the picture of Henry also. He was known for his lyric writing and tuneful singing of humorous songs, and for a number of translations of French comic operas into English, many of which appeared on the London stage. He was born on the 29th March 1837 in London, the son of artist and writer James Lee. Okay, students, now these are the names of some of the very important poems of Henry Sambrook Lee. The first one is obviously our very own, the twins. These are some of the lines of the twins. Then cod liver oil, my after dinner cloud, rhymes, my three loves, on corpulence, and a scientific drinking song. So every poem is having some of its famous lines also. You can read them, you can find them out, and all the poems are in fact very interesting, but I found the twins most interesting in all these poems from Henry Sambrook Lee, which is quite humorous also. Okay, now about the poem, that is, the name of the poem is The Twins, which is written by Henry Sambrook Lee, and the rhyme scheme is A B A B C D C D. I hope you all would be knowing that how we can find out the rhyming scheme of the uh, different poems. We had to see the last word of each line, and by matching the rhyming of that word with the last word of some other line, we can write down the rhyming scheme of that poem. Okay, figures of speech used in this poem are alliteration, hyperbole, pun, and repetition. This poem is light-hearted and uses humor to emphasize its main points. It has 3 paragraphs, each of them having 8 lines. Due to having 8 lines, the rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B C D C D. There is good use of figures of speech in this poem by the author, including pun and hyperbole. Now, what is the theme and central idea of the poem? The central idea of the poem is the physical resemblance shared by identical twins, that it can create confusion amongst the people. It shows the problems faced not only by the twins themselves but by the families and friends in identifying one from the other. This poem particularly talks about one of the brothers that feels he is suffering because of the resemblance with his twin. He feels he gets unfairly treated or targeted because of the deeds of his brother. This poem is humorous in nature and talks about twins in a light-hearted manner. Basically, the poem is quite humorous and funny, you can call it, and very interesting also. And the writer is basically discussing the different problems which usually the twins face because of their resemblance to the people, families, friends, school, and everywhere. Okay, now contextual meanings. Feature any of the distinct parts of the face as the eyes, nose, or mouth. Limb, a part of the body. Fox, people of a specified class or group. Members of one's family, one's relatives, one's parents. Puzzled, to be frustrated, confused. Friends and relatives, that is kith and kin. Friends and relatives. Fearful, feeling or showing fear or anxiety. Pitch, the degree of highness or lowness of a tone. Dodged, persistent in effort. Flogged, to beat somebody with a whip or stick or something. Fruitlessly, without results or success. That is, something is done without any fruit or without any result. Okay, now paraphrasing. Now the paraphrasing of stanza number 1. And what is our stanza number 1? In the form and the feature, face and limb, I grew so like my brother that folks caught taking me for him and each one for one another. It puzzled all our kith and kin, who reached a fearful pitch, for one of us was born a twin, yet not a soul knew which. Now you can find out the rhyming scheme of this stanza very easily. The first line ends with the word limb. Now the third line with him. Now limb and him are having the same rhyming like words. So that is why we'll give them the same alphabet, that is A and A. Brother and another. So again same rhyming words, B and B. So it means AB, AB. Now kin and twin, C and C, and pitch and which, D and D. So AB, AB, CD and CD is the rhyming scheme of the poem. Okay, first of all, we'll do the reference to the context. We know very well that whenever we write the paraphrasing of a poem, first of all, we had to write down the reference to the context to that poem, basically. And with each stanza, if it comes in the paper, any stanza, you had to write down the reference to the context that is same for each stanza. But in your notebooks or in your written tasks, you had to write it once. These lines have been taken from the poem The Twain, written by Sir Henry Sembrook Lee, 1837 to 1883, a writer and playwright born in London. He was a Spanish, Portuguese, and French scholar, a brilliant and witty conversationalist, and a humorous singer. In this poem, the poet narrates a story of twin brothers. They got mixed by a nurse while they were being washed. When they were at school, one was beaten up for the follies of the other. So these are the problems which were discussed by the writer. Paraphrasing of stanza number 1. In this poem, the poet tells what difficulties or problems could be faced by identical twins in a funny way. One of the twins is the speaker of the poem, who describes how he got troubles throughout his life due to similar features of their likeness. He tells that both of them are so alike in their appearance and the way of living or behaving. Being alike may be interesting for others, but for the speaker it was not so comfortable thing. All the time they both were misunderstood by the people. All the relatives were confused about deciding who the speaker is and who another twin is. This confusion just left them throughout life, and that was the height of their confusion or their likeness. Now stanza number 2. One day, to make the matter worse, before our names were fixed, as we were being washed by nurse, we got completely mixed, and thus you see by fate's decree, or rather nurse whim. Whim means wish. My brother John was named me, and I was named him. So the turning point is the stanza number 2, in which the twins got mixed from the very start, and throughout their life they face the same problem again, 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 and again. Okay, now paraphrasing of this stanza number 2. The matter became more worse when their naming ceremony was there and the nurse mixed up them both, maybe by their luck or maybe because of her whim. They both got exchanged, and the name John, which he was supposed to get, was given to his brother and his to him. Stanza number 3. This fatal likeness even dodged my footsteps when at school, and I was always getting flogged, for John turned out a fool. I put this question fruitlessly to everyone I knew. What would you do if you were me to prove that you were you? This is very interesting that writer is giving us the answer also, and he's saying that although I am putting this question in front of the reader, but it is, I know that it is fruitless. Fruitless means that you would not be able to give me the proper answer, because the problem which are faced by the twins, they know about their problems well, and we cannot go through those problems, so we cannot tell exactly that what are the problems and what is the situation which they are facing, and are we able to find out the solution or not. Paraphrasing of stanza number 3, the speaker further tells that their deadly likeness chased them to school, and the speaker got punishment for his brother's naughtiness and foolishness. After all these things, the speaker was restless and asking everyone an unanswerable question about what you should have done to prove the self identity. The same thing which I told you, that the speaker is asking the question from every reader, that what you people would have done if you would have to prove your identity. But the writer is telling this thing along, that he knew that this is a fruitless question and there is no answer or no solution of this question. Okay, now written task. These are some questions. 1 to 5 are the questions from your book, that is from the exercise questions. And after doing the complete paraphrasing and understanding of the poem, I hope you would be able to give proper answers of these questions. But this question number 6 is very interesting, and I would like to see your answers, because every answer should be different from the other one. Okay, first question: how did the twins resemble as mentioned in the poem? How did people take them? When did the twins mix up? What happened to the twins when they were at school? And what question did the poet ask in the last lines of the poem? Now, question number 6 is, in this poem, the poet gets in blame for things his brother does. Write about a time that you were blamed for something you did not do. How did you feel? What corrective action, if any, did you take? It is very interesting. So you had to write down about your incident. Thank you, students.